it doesn't make sense for me to sit up in church and, you know, praise Jesus and tell people to talk about God if I know what I feel guilt. In my opinion, like OnlyFans for me was desperate times call for desperate measures. I was a broke college student, and when the whole MrBeast thing came out, I was like, I refuse to go back to school. Like I dropped out. The video came out in November 2021. Like I dropped out that winter break and never went back. And like I come from, my entire family's Brazilian and I'm firstborn generation here. So like my parents lived out the American dream. And they're like, oh, we want our, you know, firstborn to go to college. And so I made it there. And then second year, I was like, peace out. Like I'm dipping after one viral video. Like that's unheard of, like completely unheard of. Not to mention a very religious family. To then do OnlyFans was like such a crazy shock.
Are we good saying that term over and over and over again, or do you want to go with something like Cronely Blades?
Yeah, no, of course we are.
Bony hands, like Caleb.
Yeah, maybe go with bony hands. What the fuck is this guy saying, bro?
Just run it repetitively over and over
I
again?
can say Only Friends.
OF. I think OF would be the way. Yeah.
I haven't had an issue. I mean, but we don't. I can say OF.
We'll be good.
That's fine.
I am just so curious about that. The family's reaction.
It was horrible.
Really?
It was horrible. I mean, I think for me, like you said, like I'm very like business mind oriented. Like I think I'm a very logical person, like in every aspect of my life, my relationship. Like if there's any problem with another human being, I need a logical and reasonable answer. Like I feel like I do, obviously everyone acts on emotion, but I'm very logical. So when my parents are just coming at me for like, well, why do you want to do this? I'm like, for me, I'm like seeing this as like a stepping stone, right? Like I think of Marilyn Monroe. I think of like these polarizing people in the industry who are now one of the biggest icons, like Pamela Anderson, Marilyn Monroe.
Kim Kardashian.
Exactly. Kim K is like now seen as an icon. I mean, no one ever forgot the, tape, but at the end of the day, she's a billionaire. Like, doesn't matter.
Who's laughing now?
It doesn't matter what you do, or I'm not saying my actions don't have consequences, because I will get into the fact like I do see the consequences of doing OF in trying to pivot. You get what I'm saying? So I think for me, starting out, like my family just didn't see, I mean, I was 19, 20. They're like, what do you know? Like you haven't even made a single dollar for yourself. Like we've been paying for your entire life. Like, and now all of a sudden you want to up and leave to move to Florida and start an OF, like you're insane. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna do it. And I did it. And it, we didn't speak for like 4 or 5 months, which in like, I don't know, like the Latin culture, like it's very, very rare. Like you don't just not talk to your family. Like it is extremely against culture. Like they're my world, they're my universe, like I wouldn't be anywhere I am without them coming back and like us having a conversation. But in all, like, after I feel like I've made it to like a certain point, which is like recently, like the last, I'd say like 4 months, I've been like, I think I capped out. Like I'm only as good as I can be when my entire energy and my entire being is put in it. Like I truly believe like in order for you to be even like you in prime and all these things, you have to be like some sort of like psycho and delusional. Like you have to have that psychotic obsession with what you're doing and believe it so hard for it to work. And like, you know how many people join OF a day that don't even make a fraction of what like the top creators do? Like it's so extremely hard, not to mention it's extremely vulnerable to put yourself out like that and know that in the beginning of my career, I couldn't showcase this side of me because I knew that that's not what was going to be attractive to men, most men that are wanting to spend money on that platform. Does that make sense? So I'm like putting out all these rage bait content and all these like with the podcast and the clips. Like those clips you're watching are like 2 years, 3 years old. Like I think I had red hair in it. Like they're old and I knew they would work. Like so going from that to today and pursuing fashion, and I have to keep myself stimulated. I have to keep learning, or else people like me, like personally, like I get extremely bored. And when I lose interest, everything starts declining. You get what I'm saying?
I do. How does, explain to me what like putting your all and like putting all that engine behind OF looks like? Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, like you have to put your all into marketing yourself in that light. Like fuck all else. Like you have to completely just say, can I cuss?
Yeah.
just completely say fuck it to all brand deals, fuck it to every person in your entire, you have to literally say fuck everything. And to a point where I said fuck it to my family because I knew I knew at some point I was going to be able to do it, like, and make the amount of money to be like, see, you've raised me not to just be some OF creator, but to like, I'm strong-minded. Like I know what I was doing and everything was so calculated and it was so intentional.
I don't want to control people's lives. I don't want to try to have an opinion about people I don't know. So I let people do what they want and they have to answer to their own people for it. You have to answer to your father for it.
100%.
I know you're a Christian. We've talked about it a million times. You have to answer to God for it.
And that's something that I literally struggle with every day. And I've said that multiple times. Like it's like, you can't, like, it's like, even because I went to a Baptist school, fun fact, that was insane. But like they always, like, I used to ask when I was a kid, I was like, oh, but if I keep doing it, like, will God still forgive me? And then at some point, I'm consciously making that decision. And I know that, it's something that I live with. But I have hope that, like, since I have guilt, like, it means that he's still there. Like, I'm not completely lost. Does that make sense?
I think you're right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, God doesn't,
no, I think you're right.
Happy with me, but at the same time, it's like I'm such an overly aware person. Like, it's almost like I'm telling myself I don't want to pursue my relationship to the fullest if I'm going to keep choosing this every day. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to sit up in church and, you know, praise Jesus and tell people to talk about God if I know I feel guilt. I feel guilt. I'm not shameful, but I do feel guilt. Every time someone asks me about it, I'm like, fuck. Or like, even saying like, oh, God bless you, to a random stranger, I feel guilt.
Wow. Why is that?
Because it's like, because I know.
Oh, because of what you're doing.
Yeah, because I know. But I know.
But
you get what I'm saying?
But you can wish God to bless people.
No, of course. Yes. But like, it's just an internal thing. Like
Interesting.
Like, it's like.
Is that heavy?
Of course.
How do you wrestle with that?
Just being a good person.
Okay.
Like, just everything I do with intention. So it's like, if every person that meets me, I'm very positive, I'm loving, I support everybody. I try to be the best version of myself, because if I allow that, it'll consume me and I'll just become miserable, bitter. And it's like, if I can be that means God is still in me. That means he's there and he's just waiting. Does that make sense?
I also love your take on what you do every day, and what you're discussing is what we call mental gymnastics. It's this really, really challenging dance that you go through every day as a sinner. It is.
100%.
And by the way, I do it all the time. I don't have an OF channel. I've moved away from a lot of things that have caused me a lot of disturbance, but I fall short and I sin all the time. And it's a really, really, really tough conversation and gymnastics match with have yourself. But what you said was extremely interesting to me, because I will say this, there's a lot of people out there that do far worse than the stuff you do or I do or anyone else does, and they don't feel 1 ounce of remorse or desire to do those gymnastics.
Well, that's because they chose, because that's exactly leading up to the second point, is like, you can choose to just say fuck it and like screw God, and I'm just gonna rebel so hard against religion that it won't make me feel guilty anymore.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
correct.
You go one of two ways. You either live with the guilt and you just keep it pushing and you stay guilty until you figure it out, or you're just like, I don't want to feel this anymore selfishly, so I'm going to just you become bitter. Like, you just become angry at the world. You start treating people like shit. You don't want to live with the guilt, so you start doing other things to mask it instead of just owning it and being like, I'm just trying to better myself every day. Yeah. Those are the type of people that treat people horribly, that when you meet them, it's like they operate at such a low vibration.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep,
like
100%.
You can feel it around them that they're so fucking miserable. Like, I knew that. So I'm like, I'm just gonna have these internal battles every day. And I do talk about it a lot with Owen, like my partner. Like, he's my world. Like, he's my like literal second half. And it's like, he's the only person that I literally like the 3 a.m. in bed just being like, does God hate me? Like, am I a bad person? Like, do I do bad things? And we have these difficult conversations that if I had no one to talk about it with, I'd end up miserable. A lot of men in this business who date women that usually are in the adult content space, it can affect how a man feels like their masculinity. Like they wouldn't want their girl to be bigger than them. They need to be like the center. Owen is not like, he is so okay being behind the scenes and watching me flourish. And that to me is like the perfect partnership. Like he doesn't want to be out.
This is a deep one.
You
This is
get
a
what I'm
great
saying?
episode.
I'm about to
man.
go even. I'm about to take this even a step deeper, if you don't
And he
mind.
knows that if I were to, like the exact pivoting I'm doing right now, he knows that when and if it comes a time where I fizzle out in the the OF space, he's so okay with it. He's like, I want you to go do that. He knows that his capabilities are going to end at some point.
How would you fizzle out?
I would quit OnlyFans at some point.
Okay, so yeah, I guess the question I'm ultimately curious about is like, what does the end of the road look like for you? Do you know yet in terms of the OF?
I do.
Are you comfortable
it's
sharing?
No.
Is it complicated or part of a big plan?
It's complicated and it's
It should be a big moment. It should be a big mic drop moment.
It will be.
Hey guys, if you like that clip, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see more zany clips, click the video right here.